What's up, boys? We are back with another one today. I've been sick for the last couple weeks. Today is, I don't even know what the day is. Tuesday? Or no, I think it's Wednesday. I've lost track of time, guys. I've been sick for so long. I started noticing symptoms the Thursday before last. That's how long it's been. And at first I thought I had COVID because that's just what people think now when they get sick. First thought, I got COVID. But no, I went and I tested, did the little swab at-home thing, and it showed negative, so that meant that I had influenza, the flu. And I was like, well, that ain't, flu ain't as bad as COVID, is what I was thinking. Because I had the COVID a couple years ago, and it was horrible. I went into like a state of COVID psychosis. If you want to know more about it, I put out a couple videos on it. I'll put them in the description. But it was horrific. The best way to put it was that I was haunted for about 4 or 5 days. I was no longer myself. I had lost all sense of being. Things around me weren't right. My mental state was gone. It was like I had a stroke, like a major stroke. And it turned out to be, from what I can tell, at least, brain swelling. Because I went to the hospital, they couldn't tell what was going on. They don't know. Went back home, and that night, all of a sudden, I was back. I felt a pressure relief in my head all of a sudden, like there was a relief valve, and I was back. My sense of humor had returned, and I could function. I could function like a normal person. But anyway, back to the flu. I started having symptoms. It was the Thursday before last, so almost 2 weeks ago. And right off the bat, I'm not going to get all this 100% correct. I'm sure my wife will watch it and be like, no, it wasn't that day, but I'm going to try my best. I just know the first few days I was getting the normal symptoms associated with the flu. High fever. My fever got all the way up to 102. Chills. No appetite. My appetite was completely gone. I was losing weight. Just in the first week, I lost 10 pounds. I went from like 195. Actually, it was like 13 pounds. I went from 195 to 182. So I lost a significant amount of weight. I didn't really have headaches, so I was lucky in that sense. What else did I have? I didn't really have nausea. But I knew it was the flu. And so I should have went to the doctor right off the bat, but I'm stubborn. I'm a stubborn person. I have to be like losing a leg before I go to the doctor. It has to be very bad. And I know that's not a good, way of doing things. So I gotta change that. But I started having mental stuff. And when I start having mental stuff, that's cause for concern. Because that reminded me of COVID. And at first I was just thinking, hey, I just got brain swelling again. Great. Good old brain swelling. It's a common symptom associated with getting sick. I'm being sarcastic, guys. Yeah. So I thought it was just going to go away on its own like it did with COVID. I would just have that moment of clarity where all of a sudden the pressure relieves and bam, I'm back. Well, no, this is totally different though. This is a thing. I wasn't in like a constant state of mental confusion. with COVID, it was just, I was stuck. I was stuck that way. With the flu, it was coming and going about 3 times a day. And these episodes oftentimes were brought on by elevated levels of blood pressure. I'd be in the bathtub, and just all of a sudden, I'd just be sitting there thinking, I figured out that this is very hard to explain, guys. It was always something really imminent that I was thinking. The thoughts were so confusing and delusional that I can't even recall them. They don't make sense. The best way to put it is if, say, you found out, you had convinced yourself that 9 plus banana was 4. That's the best way to put it. Try to explain that to somebody. After convincing yourself, you have fully convinced yourself, but now you have to explain it to somebody. It is imminent. It is like, I have to explain this. I can't function unless I explain this. And one of the things I kept wanting to tell my wife was how I had figured out that I wasn't going to get any better. I just kept convincing myself, like some kind of math formula in my head, that I had just figured it out. I'm like, hey, this is it. I'm not getting any better. There was one time I was in the bathtub, and the solution to my problem was to drink the bath water. And there was, like, I know this sounds crazy. There was, I was laying in the tub, letting the shower, like, basically taking a shower laying down. That's what I was doing. Just laying there for hours. And there's a lot of steam. And I was thinking the steam is where it's at. It loosens up stuff. That makes sense. But drinking the water, no. But I had an episode, and that's what I had convinced myself of. And then you come out, it lasts for about 30 minutes. Come out of it pretty shaken up every time. Feel like your brain is giving out on you. You get to go in between consciousness and whatever that is. I don't know what you call that. But it I don't even know what word to describe it. It is horrific, nightmare, pure, absolute terror. Almost as bad as COVID. That's the only thing. One of the things that helped me was when I went into COVID psychosis 2 years before that. It was actually worse than that. So I was like, hey, at least I'm not in COVID psychosis. I got something going on. But the thought of just having that 3 times a day for the rest of my life kept going through my head, like, this is not feasible. There's no way. No way. You better put me on some serious medications. And I was getting really sleepy during the day, in and out, just be watching a movie, and then bam. And then 10 minutes later, just open my eyes, like, oh man, I kind of just went away there for a little bit. And that just was happening all day long. I was having elevated blood pressure, and my blood pressure is already kind of borderline, so I have to watch what I eat and drink. But this was different. I was feeling my pulse in my face, which I had a little bit of that with COVID. But this was worse. This was quite a bit worse. And makes it to where you can't hardly sleep because you just have this pulsing running through your head. And I don't know if it was a combination of the high blood pressure plus I don't know it's another thing that's really hard to describe. It's not painful. It's just really irritating. It throws off your balance, makes you dizzy, and makes it to where you're just not yourself. It's all you think about is, how do I get rid of this? There's literally nothing else to think about. And so anyway, this went on for like 3 or 4 days. Now by this time, I had already gone to the doctor. I made a virtual appointment because I was having chest pains, and like I said earlier, I'm stubborn. I don't like going to the doctor, so I just made a virtual appointment. Had to wait like 3 days, and so we started talking on this virtual call, and immediately he was like, "Dude, why didn't you come in? Like, sounds like you have pneumonia." And I was like, "What? Like, pneumonia?" You know, I'm sitting there thinking, pneumonia something. You're bedridden. You're down for the count. But I was kind of still functional. And he was like, "Yeah, we need to prescribe you some stuff, antibiotics and some steroids." And it gives you a week's supply of steroids, gives you a week's supply of antibiotics. The steroids, you taper them off. You start out kind of strong, and then over time you taper them off so you don't have withdrawal symptoms. So 3 to 4 days into taking these medications, I'm feeling a little better. The flu, it cured the pneumonia really fast. The pressure went away in my chest. But as far as the mental things, they were still there. And that's when I was really starting to worry, because I was like, well, the flu is kind of on the downhill slope, you know? It's, why am I still having mental stuff? It doesn't make sense. And it was like just a waiting game at that point. I don't like the waiting game. The waiting game is not fun. It's frustrating. And the waiting game will outweigh you all day long. So I just started doing my own research at that point, because I didn't know where else to go. It's like, something's causing this. My brain isn't broke, hopefully. So I just have to figure out what is the root of this problem. And I started researching the medicine that I was on. Now, the steroid I was on, I'm not going to get the name right. Methylprednisolone, something like that. Methylprednisolone. I don't know how to say it. It's a type of corticosteroid, I believe. Once again, I know I'm not saying that right either. It's a steroid. It's a synthetic steroid. So I started looking it up, and it has a whole list of things that it does, including psychotic outbreaks, including high blood pressure, including loss of appetite, including depression, including just sleeping all the time, including loss in energy, including face swelling, including delirium. And I was like, I have all that. This drug it gave all that to me. And I was like, I have to get off this immediately. This drug is destroying my brain. So I had 3 pills left at that point, and called up the doctor. They called me back, and I told them all the symptoms I was having. They were coinciding with taking the pills. Of course, about 2 hours after I was taking the pills, when I was having the episodes. And the doctor was like, yeah, quit taking them. Yeah. So I quit taking them, and pretty much immediately the psychological stuff went away. And my blood pressure has gone down. Yeah, I'm back to myself almost, not quite, but I'm pretty close. The only thing I have left now, I have one more antibiotic to take. Well, the antibiotic also has a list of crap that it does to you, and it does all kinds of digestive freaking havoc on you. Yeah, I've been having all sorts of digestive problems. It destroys your gut. It just completely wipes out all the good microorganisms and stuff in your gut, and it just replaces it with trash. You have to rebuild your system once you're done with the antibiotics. You have to rebuild your gut, rebuild the bacteria, try to get it back where it used to be. Because if you don't, that stuff can screw you up. I've been reading horror stories because that's what I do when I'm sick, and not fun stories for people who developed all kinds of conditions and weird diseases and crap from antibiotics. And I'm just frustrated at this point because it's like, this crap's supposed to make you better, and the stupid steroid just ate me alive. I mean, I can't even look at that package without tearing up. It just brings absolute fear to me to even smell that, to even think of that pill. It is, nothing else scares me now. Like, I had that feeling after COVID, like nothing can scare me ever again. I used to watch a lot of scary movies, get scared of just typical things. Even into adulthood, you get scared of stuff, scared of the dark, and have nightmares. There ain't nothing can touch that stuff. So today, trying to build up my gut, drinking some kombucha, because it's a prebiotic, I believe. Trying to get all this terminology correct. But anyway, guys, that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I just want to have this to look back on, and hey, maybe one of you guys listening has had a nightmare story from antibiotics or from steroids, or knows somebody, because it seems like everybody I've talked to here lately has nightmare stories from both the drugs. My mom knows somebody that suffers from depression from her steroids she has to take for lupus. My neighbor, Bill, he says that he just quits taking steroids because they make him feel weird sometimes. He's 85. My dad, apparently, he talks a lot when he's on any kind of steroids. I just feel like I've been left in the dark when it comes to all this. Like, I don't know a lot about medical stuff. When people talk about medical things in front of me, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I can talk about truck parts and stuff like that all day long, woodworking, but when it comes to medical things, I'm not very well educated, and I'm trying to become a little more well educated, because it's I obviously don't react very good to medications. I don't know why. I don't know. I wish I could just have the normal flu like most people do, and I could just take drugs and they could just fix it like normal people, and I could just get on about my life. But no, I have to go into some sort of weird state of psychosis or have some sort of mental freaking breakdown to where, I'm thinking about having to check myself into a psychiatric ward. It's that serious. And it's no laughing matter. I know us guys like to poke fun about things like that, but it is not fun, guys. And I mean, it was like really stressful on my wife, because I could see her looking at me a lot of those days, like looking in my eyes, like, is he there? Just trying to find me, you know, like. And I knew I wasn't there, and I could see that distress in her eyes, and she kept a really positive attitude during all this, which is extremely crucial to, if you're taking care of somebody who's sick, to keep a positive outlook, positive emotions, no doom and gloom. It's so much better to have an attitude like that, because your mental state is a heavy part of your physical state. When you have a good and positive mental well-being, you also have a good and positive physical well-being. Your body can heal itself faster. But when you're overcome with thoughts of horrible, wretched things, ominous, just unbelievably depressing thoughts, that reflects on your body, and it puts you in a really bad spot. I was having anxiety like I have never had in my entire life, and that was not fun. It's not even fun sitting here talking about this. This is kind of making me feel anxious just talking about it. But yeah, the most worrisome thing about this, I mean, this is something that's kind of hard to come to terms with. So what if, whenever I was sitting there trying to figure out these solutions, these things I have to tell my wife, these things I have to do, what if the solution was to go and drink a quart of oil? Or what if the solution was to turn the water in the bath as hot as it would go? I don't like thinking about that. So, anyway, guys, definitely getting a flu shot this year. The COVID shot still terrifies me because I have such adverse reactions to medications. I know people just all of a sudden have tinnitus sometimes with the COVID shot. That sounds horrific. I don't want tinnitus. It probably should be one of the potential side effects listed on the just listed as one of the side effects, like smoking a cigarette causes cancer. Well, you get the vaccine, you might get tinnitus. You know, we're past the point of being conspiracy theorists. We gotta be serious about this. Be adults, be grown adults, and quit politicizing the crap out of everything, and just look at things for what they are. What does this do? Does it cause heart problems or does it not? Does it cause tinnitus or does it not? And can we just look at it and do a study, accurate, honest studies, rather than politicizing everything to where we don't know the facts, and then you do have conspiracy theories popping off because we don't have the facts. So people make up stuff sometimes, but I don't feel like my body can fight off this stuff anymore. It's making me afraid to be around people. I don't want to risk getting sick again and having these crazy mental problems. I can't, it's just so hard to do. So unbelievably hard. And it's like, I don't know what to do, you know? Because like I said, I'm the kind of person to get the shot, and then all of a sudden, who knows? I just can't use my left leg or something. Oh, and there was one thing I was wanting to mention for the people who know me, who are watching this, which is not a whole lot of people. But if we're hanging out just for the future and anybody's sick, and I'm talking sniffles, just anything, coughing, I don't care what it is, I'm leaving immediately. I can't risk it anymore. I know a lot of people are really like, oh, it's fine, it's nothing contagious. I don't know that, and you might not either. And I'm at an extreme risk when it comes to that. I can't just get sick and it's like, just take some antibiotics and whoop-de-doo, I'm back to normal. No, I disappear from reality for a little while. So it's not something to be taken lightly. So like I said, if I show up and somebody's sick, I'm leaving immediately. I'm not risking it anymore. I know I can't be completely away from germs, and I guess to some degree that's not good for people. But can you blame me? I mean, golly. It puts me in a bad spot. Anyway, guys, I guess that's it. One more thing before I leave. I put out a short talking about how wonderful my wife was, how positive, and I just want to say that again. My wife was a gift from God, basically, to me. If you knew me 20 years ago, hell, if you knew me pretty much before I met my wife, and then you met me now, you'd be like, who is that person? You wouldn't even know me. But I have changed like you wouldn't believe. All for the better. Every single bit of it. Because I was a miserable person before. I was mad at the world, just drinking my life away, trying to be somebody I'm not. And my wife loves me for who I am. I learned to be myself, to love myself for who I am, to accept me for all my weird things that I do, my weird personality, my dark humor. I can't express enough how wonderful of a person she is, and how much I love her, and how grateful I am to have somebody like that in my life, because a lot of people don't, and it's sad. I wish that everybody could have somebody like her in their life. This world would be amazing. Anyway, I guess that's it, guys. Y'all be safe out there. Try to stay healthy.